Our next speaker is the head of AI and robotics, KPMG Center of Excellence in Israel, who will be speaking to us about driving growth and operational efficiency through AI and robotics. He is experienced with working with top-tier companies across different industries and sectors, delivering tailored AI and robotics solutions to address specific business needs. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rolan Kab.
Basically, how data is changing the world. It needs to run for a second. So this shows in each second how much data we accumulate. The numbers are staggering. In the last 3 years, the world generated 90% of its data. The numbers are crazy, and if you like it or not, or believe in it or not, data is changing the world. It's changing how we work, it's changing how we do business, it's changing everything. It's a huge disruptor. So this shows for every second how many data we accumulate. So you can see users, websites. So the numbers are amazing. So this is how a typical organization looked like in the past. Most of the organizations were structured like this. So we had a CEO, CIO, CFO, and the CTO, the money man, the tech man, the man in charge, and the man with the switch. So this is how most of the organizations looked like. Look at this staggering change, how many new functions were added. I want to take a minute and tell you about the top 3 ones. So we have a CDO. It's either a chief data officer or a chief digital officer that aims to drive our data and digital journey. A CAO, it's the chief analytics officer. His purpose is to generate and create new insights for companies. He wakes up in the morning and generates new insights. And a CUD, a chief understanding officer, is his job. He wakes up in the morning and he sees, what do we need to understand from the data? What do we derive? How does it impact our business? How does it impact our commercial model? How does it impact our marketing? So this is how the organizations change. So not all of them, of course, because this is a transition period, but a lot of organizations have these functions. So the clicker is a bit clicking me. So everybody knows this picture. This is how humanity evolved. This is how we evolved from the primates till the digital person working on the computer, doing everything on his computer. But true change and new transformation is coming. So this is the new world based on technology, digital environment, and digital processes. So in the left corner, you can see all the new technologies emerging. You have AI, artificial intelligence, you have intelligent automation, you have big data, you have BI. A lot of technology that enables us to take our business forward. So how do we take basically the business forward? You are probably familiar with the new digital and emerging companies. So we have Booking. It's the largest hotel chain in the world that has 0 hotels. Uber, the largest taxi company in the world that owns 0 taxis. eBay, the world's largest store, has no stores at all. It's all digital. And Facebook, of course. So this is how technology is changing. It gives us the opportunity to create new business models, to create new value, and to create new awareness. So if you would have asked in the past, if we were talking in the past, Then the biggest store was probably Walmart. The biggest media company were some big advertising company in New York. But the digital and the data and the technology changed everything. I put before you some startups. Most of you are familiar with, so it's WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Skype, the Weather Channel, and other companies. These companies were sold in staggering amounts. So for WhatsApp, somebody paid 26 billion US dollars, right? So how do you value the company at 26 billion dollars? Did it have any commercial model? The answer is no. Did it charge money for us to use it? The answer is no. So why did somebody was willing to pay 26 billion? The answer is because the app had information and data for over 1 billion users. So if I would have asked you in the old world, how do you evaluate a company? Then you would have said, I would examine the EBIT or EBITDA of that company. I would perform a competitive analysis. I would have, I have reviewed the sales revenues and estimated the value. But today, the new companies, the digital companies, are around what's my data warehouse size, how many users I have, how active are they, how much data I have on them. So I'm not saying that you are WhatsApp. I'm not saying that you are Facebook. But I'm saying your business has data that can produce a lot of value for you. You just have to realize the potential and start utilizing it. Start mining it. Because if I would told you that you are sitting on a field of oil or on a gold of mine, then tomorrow you would start digging to find it, right? So why don't you do it with data? Take the data and make the most out of it. In addition to changing our business type, our business model, we are changing the positions, the roles, the people. So data is becoming much more, let's say, present in our daily activities. I'm taking a basketball coach as an example. So a basketball coach takes 50 decisions a second during a typical basketball game. That's the amount of decisions that he needs to take, 50 per second. So he can do it alone, based on his instinct, based on his gut. That would be good. But how far will it take him? So today we are seeing much more much more coaches, much more teams relying on data, seeing which insights this is providing. They measure how long did a player run, what is his heart rate, what is his statistics, how much he threw from the three-yard line, how much is he throwing at all, how much balls he lost. And this enables and gives the coach an ability to make better decisions, smarter decisions, and much faster. I want you to take a look at some employees or some positions that are in danger of disappearing, and you need also to take it for example. So just, I know, but probably missed it, but in the middle we have positions or roles like a taxi driver. So when the autonomous car comes in, we don't need any drivers. We don't need people driving us around. We have a car that drives itself. So this is also something that we need to take into account when planning for the future and envisioning how will we work and how will we do it. My message is not that we don't need those people, but the people that are doing the day-to-day work, the tedious work, their role will change. And for my opinion, it will change for the better. It will allow them to be more, to do more insightful things, to create more value, and to generate more money and growth for organizations. So the main trend that we are seeing for 2019, we call it the fast tracks. A fast track is basically automating all the processes in the organization that will not need to be involved, that won't need a human in the loop, that won't need a human involved in the process. Any process can be automated as long as the organization knows the process and knows how to explain it. I came with some examples. I will run through that because time is chasing me. The first example is Ambulance Victoria. It's a very big medical services company that is working from Australia. And this company had a problem. They needed to decide within 3 minutes from getting an emergency call, how will they save the life of a person, which type of vehicle will come to evacuate, and to where this person needs to be evacuated based on the severity of the injury, based on the criticality of the situation, and based on many other critical time aspects. So Ambulance Victoria decided to take AI as their leading technology, and basically AI supports their decision process. That's how they're successfully able, within 3 minutes, okay? Remember, somebody needs to call you, you need to understand what's the emergency, and then you need to respond within 3 minutes. So it is really amazing. The company decided to harness AI, and the results are unbelievable. People are super happy. KPIs and metrics that the company is measured on are off the charts. And this is one of the biggest success stories in the world of using AI. I'm not referring here to something, it's like something that is nice to have. We're talking about people's lives. So this is one amazing example. Another example is around car insurance and damage control. So when you have an accident and you want to file a claim, we want to make this process as easy, as simple as possible. So we see a lot of insurance companies taking this intelligent automation and artificial intelligence route as well. Basically, unfortunately, you have an accident. You can easily upload all this data and all this information to an app, and based on the damage and your policy and your lifetime value as a customer, the machine can decide and give you the compensation immediately within minutes. Another example, which is quite an amazing one. They did a study in the UK. They compared a robot powered, of course, by artificial intelligence to lawyers, esteemed lawyers. So what they did a blind test. They gave the robots and the lawyers the same amount of data, the same amount of information. They gave them the claims, the cases which were litigated in the court, and they need to decide on the verdict. So the results were amazing. The artificial intelligence was right in 87% of the cases, where the lawyers were right at 66% of the cases. So I'm not coming here and saying, let's artificial intelligence judge us and give us verdicts. So this is not the case. If you're worried, I see some worried faces. But I'm just saying that we can leverage this technology, and let's say give the AI an ability to settle small claims. and then the courts and the lawyers will deal with the larger cases. You need to understand how much time and effort this can save to the courts. So, for example, in Israel, the courts are overpacked. You have to wait at least 3 months for a trial. And then it goes on and on and on and on. Just think of how much money can you save. So I want to leave you, I'm finishing off, and I want to leave you with a couple of thoughts. And let's say my experience from working with AI and working with companies and helping them to succeed. So this lovely picture of a data lake is how usually clients think their data should look like. We come up to them and they say, oh no, the data is bad, we need to cleanse it, and that's no good. But we are saying something else, that even if your data lake looks like this, you can start. This is good enough, because the process is a new process. The time are new times. We want to be more agile, more quick, and we want to experiment. Failure is a part of the process. And then we're saying to the clients also something very important. Just start. Do something small. You don't want to do something big? No problem. Do something small. Start with a simple application. Start with solving a very specific problem. When the problem is very specific and clear, it's easier to solve. We're not trying to take you on adventures. We're trying to make the presentation move. And let's start by generating small values. So if you are familiar with the agile approach, the agile way, we try to create value incrementally. Create small value all the time, and then over time, it creates an enormous value. So just a second. So as I mentioned, don't sit on the bench, get in the game. Your data is not as bad as you think. Be agile and start by understanding the business problem and the business need. This is something that I will speak in more length in the masterclass. My goal is to give you a lot of examples and a lot of, it's a big word to use, but maybe inspirations to where we can start. It's not, you don't have to start with the most intelligent system and the most complex solution. And my parting words, if the presentation will move, is don't be late to the train, okay? Don't miss out on all this progress and all this transition. If you will lose the train, if you won't be on it, you will, unfortunately, probably disappear. Thank you.